my Korean husband.
Hey guys, I'm Nicola.
I'm here.
I'm Mr. Kwon, and we're from the My Korean Husband blog. And today we're going to answer a question.
Yes.
Okay, Marilyn Janice Sawyer asks, so what are the main differences between dating or being married to a Korean and dating and being married to an Australian? Okay, differences. So this is just our experience. We can only go on what we've experienced, so this might not be the same for everybody. Yeah, so
And it's not standard, so don't think it's all Korean guys are same like this and all Australian girls are same like this. It's different.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so first up I will talk about differences between Australian men and Korean men. So one that I think is quite obvious to sort of anyone, definite differences with how they view masculinity. So I find that Korean men are a lot more open to a lot more things. You're not worried about wearing pink, you're not worried about appearing a bit feminine or anything like that. Whereas I find Australian men and perhaps very in general Western guys have more focus, they have a different focus, and there's a difference in what they consider to be masculine. So I'm sure anybody that follows K-pop and K-dramas will have seen this, will have seen that these are very straight men, but they have more freedom to express themselves and more freedom to be masculine in a different way to Western society. Yeah, so that's the first one. So when I first started being friends with Korean guys, and I did date some Korean guys, at first I was like, oh my gosh, why are you wearing pink, or why do you have a Hello Kitty thing, or why do you have a pink bedspread? You know, like it was a bit confronting to me, but now I'm completely used to it and I really, really like it. I like that freedom that you guys have, and I like the freedom that Korean men have to show affection to each other. So especially if you're out drinking and that, they touch each other everywhere.
Even legs.
Yeah, especially the legs.
Yeah, my friends remember.
Yeah.
They just touching my legs a lot.
They are allowed to show affection like that, whereas I think it's quite constricting, especially in Australian culture, how straight men, like, you know, they hug each other and they're like, good job, bro. Like, they're very afraid to show that. Where Korean guys are like, oh, I love you, bro, so much. Yeah. So the next one is one that we can probably say is a general thing. Korean men don't smell. Like, I am not kidding, it's a genetic thing, and I think Korean and Japanese populations, the majority of the population has, I think it's a mutation where they don't have the bacteria under their armpits, so they don't get that BO smell, which is wonderful. He doesn't have to wear deodorant. Koreans don't wear deodorant. I mean, it smells lovely. So if it's a long day and they're very hot and sweaty, or they're doing sport, you do not get that BO smell that Australian guys, sort of white Australian guys definitely get, which can be quite overwhelming. So yes, Korean guys smell very nice usually because they don't stink. But I do think a lot of Korean guys get sweatier hands and feet a bit more. That's just my general not scientific study of just being around Koreans. I think that's what your negative thing is, that Korean guys can get a bit sweaty on the hands and feet. Of course, if they haven't showered for a few days, they might get not a BO smell, because they actually don't physically get that BO smell, but they might not smell the best if they haven't showered in a while. So they still have to shower. Okay, the next one is that Korean guys do military service. So if you didn't know about this, by law, every Korean man is required to do 2 years. Is it still 2 years?
Yeah, but it depends on which.
If you go in the Navy or
Navy
the Army,
is longer, and Air Force is longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, Marine and Army are same.
Okay, so it's about 2 years military service,
2 years.
and you have to do it before you're 30, 31?
I'm not sure, 31 I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about
so
that. But
you did yours?
I did. I was in Navy. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much every Korean guy you meet is going to have done their military service or is going to do it.
Yes.
So this is a big part of who Korean guys are.
Yeah.
And you bond with other Korean guys talking about this, right?
That's right. Yeah. So all Korean guys have Korean citizenship in Korea. They have to do it even they are famous, it doesn't matter. They have to know.
They have to do it.
No exception.
Yeah. The mentality in Korea is you have to do it, and it's important. And it's your pride, and you have to do it for your country.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they don't go to military service and they need to get another country citizenship, or they just go to jail for 2 years.
Yeah, who wants to go to jail? Yeah. So some Korean guys will talk about their military service a lot, and some are so traumatized by it that they don't talk about it at all. And there are some guys that don't do it. They might have a medical reason, or sometimes some people can try to get out of it. But
yeah, so if some Korean guys, the age over 30 or something, if they didn't do their military service, actually there is something wrong with their body, or their mental, or something is wrong, or they have another country citizenship or something, because there's no exception.
And I think as difficult as the military service is for Korean guys, it does make them think about their life. It makes them plan their life, because they have to fit in this 2 years of military service. So it makes them quite motivated, and it makes them have a life plan. So you will find that Korean guys might be sort of more motivated because they've had to because you go to the military service at age 18?
After high school. Yeah.
So they've got to think about, in their 20s, what are they going to do? And they usually have some sort of life plan like that.
They need to sacrifice their 2 years life for our country.
Yeah. And if they've been in university and they leave university and they do the military service and they come back, all the girls they were in the classes with in university are now 2 years older in different classes. So it can be really difficult when they come back into society, because all the females they knew, all the girls they knew are now don't care about them because they haven't finished university, they haven't done this stuff. So you can go on and on about all this military stuff, and it's a big part of Korean guys' lives.
Yes.
And there's so many things to talk about.
So I think we can make
a whole other video about that.
Yeah.
Another thing with Korean guys is there is not as much pressure to stay single. So in Australia, there is a kind of culture where guys don't like their guy friends getting girlfriends or getting married. They want them to be single, and they want them to just be, their mate, be their bro, and just single and party the whole time. This is a generalization, of course. But there is a lot of negativity in Australian culture among guys if their friend settles down and has a long-term girlfriend or wife. And you don't have that in Korean culture as much. Korean guys openly say they want to get married, they want a girlfriend, they will say to their friends, please hook me up with someone, I want to meet somebody, I want to be married, and I want to have kids. You'll hear them saying that all the time. And all your single friends, every time we see them, they're like, can you introduce me to someone? They're very open about getting married. Another thing is the focus on family and culture. So if you were dating a Korean guy who's lived most of his life in Korea, you need to know about Korean culture, and you need to know these things. Like, Australia is a big mix of all these different cultures, you can be anything here, but Korea has a monoculture. So there is a definite Korean culture. And the more you know about that, the more you will understand your Korean boyfriend or your Korean husband. And there is more of a focus on family, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you need to fit into that culture like that. Okay guys, there's so much for us to talk about, so click on to the next video here, okay?
Yes. So we talk more about between Korea and Australia stuff.
Yeah.
So see you guys.
Okay, bye.